Why do you think it is that Israel always seems to win when it is at the same time a global pariah?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think there are several aspects to the question. First of all, it has the United States and the European countries in its corner. And that's a very formidable political and military force. I mean, Israel couldn't have fought for one day without the US weapons. So that is a phalanx of power that's very hard to defeat. The US thumbs its nose at the rest of the world. Secondly, there are definitely deficits in the Arab Muslim world, which make it a less rational actor than it could be were those deficits not there. I believe that Hezbollah was a very rational actor, had a very high level of technical competence. I met them, and on a personal basis, I would say it was, and let me be clear, I'm talking about very few people, but I met them. I watched their translators. I've seen the best simultaneous translators work. I remember when I was in Germany. I don't know if you ever see how a simultaneous translator works. We go like,
No.
oh, it's fascinating to watch how they translate. And I had a very good, when my book, The Holocaust Industry, came out, I spoke a lot in Germany, and they had their translators. You know, the publishers had the translators when I was speaking to the audiences. And it was a marvel to watch how they like put one word here, one word there, one word here, and then their mind fills in everything else, verbatim. And when I was in Lebanon, I was with one of the Hezbollah translators. I noticed he had the same style. They were highly competent. But as I said, I misjudged it. I didn't see that however high their level of competence, you're not going to win against 10,000 Marcones. It's not going to happen. And Mark was a very hard worker. I think he probably worked as hard as the Hezbollah technicians worked, you know. I remember Mark said to me, he knew I wasn't keen on Bush, Cheney, Rumsfeld. And he was working in the White House. He was the head of the computer system. And he wanted somehow to justify what he was doing in my eyes. And he said to me, you know, Norman, they work very hard. And it's true, they do. If you read the accounts of Rumsfeld stood at the lectern, and he was constantly sending out memos. They quoted Rumsfeld's snowflakes. That was the expression he used. He stood there. He didn't sit. He didn't like to sit. 14 hours a day. They worked hard. I mean, yes, Bush was kind of no-show. Bush Jr. Reagan was less than a no-show. They said he used to be in the Oval Office maybe 3 hours eating jelly beans.
Good taste.
But they work hard. I didn't see that. So in general, there wasn't the level of competence and dedication of Hezbollah. And I remember just the other day, I was talking to my friend Sana Qasim. She's responsible for my social media. because I don't know anything about social media. I've never been on it. I've never been on Facebook.
I saw you had an Instagram the other day and I was impressed.
It wasn't mine.
Okay.
Somebody had appropriated my name. And
you don't strike me as an Instagram guy. You don't have a cell phone.
I don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
But I was very upset about that because they were posting things on that, whoever did it, posting things which were totally antithetical to my beliefs. And I understood that we finally got it down. You know, it's very hard to get these things removed. In any event, Sana Qasim, she's a chemist. She's Palestinian. And she's a chemist. And she said to me, what Israel is doing to the Arab world is unnatural. You know, she wasn't using political language. She was using the language of the natural sciences. It's against nature that a country of 8 million people can carry on this way. I mean, just in the past week, bombing Gaza, bombing Yemen, bombing Syria, bombing Lebanon, bombing Iran. It's unnatural, she said. And part of me resonated to that. It can't go on. It can't go on. Something finally has to give because, as Sana said, it goes against nature. But then the other part of me says, number one, there's no reason why. My memories are very vivid, say, of the decision to invade Iraq in 2003. That's 20 years ago. And for me, it's like yesterday. I remember exactly where I was standing. I was at a rally at my college, a demonstration at my college. So 20 years is yesterday. I won't live another 20 years. So it's unnatural, but I won't see nature take its natural course. And the other thing is the most famous economist of the 20th century is, of course, John Maynard Keynes. And it was famously said by him, he was attending, I think, an economics convention. And the various economists were talking about, in the long run, this, in the long run, that. No, I think in the long run, this. No, I think in the long run, that. And Keynes' famous intervention was, quote, in the long run, we're dead. Which means, which I translate as meaning, it's kind of irrelevant to talk about in the long run, because we won't be around for the long run. And so it may be against nature, but the corrective to nature, that's in the long run. And I don't know whether I'll live to see it or whether it'll ever come to be. The long run can be very long.